I was very fortunate to go to UT Arlington at a time when UT Arlington was a young university. Civil engineering school was a young school. We had a lot of adjunct professors who worked and then taught part-time. And for what I wanted to do with my career, that was very, very valuable, because I wanted to be a heavy practitioner within our profession, and I got the chance to, from a college time, to really experience that through professors that I had. I was very fortunate there. And then, of course, when I graduated, I was lucky enough to get a job with Freese & Nichols, and Freese & Nichols takes education extremely important. As most folks in ASCE know, Freese & Nichols has sponsored several fellowships, outstanding student awards, and many other activities that we sponsor on the state and national level. And I fell right into the Freese & Nichols culture of continuing education. I went to graduate school, or Jack and I went to graduate school together. I was working at Freese & Nichols at the time. And Jack, I think you were working for Forrest & Cotton at the time.
Yes.
And we got through graduate school, and then ever since then, Freese & Nichols has sponsored and supported all of my, not only my educational activities, but my professional activities. Which I grew up in Fort Worth. I went to Eastern Hills High School, east side of Fort Worth, and really didn't go that far away to college.
I'm trying to retrace your career in the Texas section here a little bit. What positions have you served before you were the president of the Texas section?
Well, of course, a lot of within the Fort Worth branch, all the officer slots in the Fort Worth branch, including my first slot was Art Martin was president of the Fort Worth branch, and he asked me to be membership chair, which I didn't know what that meant, but I did it. And Art and I remained very good friends. He was a vice president of the Texas section, now lives in Portland, Oregon. So that's how I got started. Also, when I started to work at Freese & Nichols, a gentleman by the name of Bob Thompson was who I worked for, and Bob was Fort Worth branch president. So I got, from the very beginning, I got to know the Fort Worth branch, and then I got involved in writing some papers, and then became hydraulics committee chair, and then was vice president of technical affairs back when Doug Stedman was president, and I think actually I was vice president when Wayne Klaus was president, but Doug was right before or right after. I don't remember which one it was. And then a few years later, I was tapped on the shoulder to be president of the Texas section, and thoroughly enjoyed that time. It did take some time. I traveled to all the branches. In the year that I was president-elect, our president and I made all the branches during that 2-year period of time, which was a lot of travel. Well, we tried to do something with the year that I was president. In visiting all the branches, the branches were telling me we need more interaction with the Texas section. So we got together and we came up with a plan to use both the Texas A&M and the University of Texas video conferencing facilities, which they had a link that they could use between their two systems. And the way it worked out, every branch had one of either the A&M or the UT video conferencing centers in their within their branch, and so we took advantage of that and made all those links. And it was a very difficult thing to make those links and make all that happen. One experience I remember is the Austin meeting. I think it was the last meeting where I was president, and we were meeting, and I don't remember the name of the hotel, but had a room on the 11th or 12th floor. And on Friday, during some of the technical sessions, I had gone upstairs to return some phone calls, and the fire alarm went off. All the elevators went straight down. So I came down 11 flights of stairs and exited through the kitchen. And I don't remember right now who organized the technical sessions for that meeting, but they did a wonderful job of herding everybody out. They had fun outside, and they came back in and got it right back on schedule, and
wow.
we didn't miss a beat.
Can you speak a little bit about what Freese & Nichols has done since you were president? I know they've started some awards for some of the student branches, I guess, in the area of paper contest or...
Well, outstanding civil engineering student.
The student, okay. Can you describe that a little bit? Or?
Well, it was, I give credit to that to Peggy Freeby, Freese & Nichols HR manager, and Coy Beach, who most everybody in ASCE knows. And they came up with this concept, and they said, you know, the students need some recognition. ASCE wants the students to come to the meetings, and Friesen Nichols can do something about that by sponsoring an outstanding CE student. So every year now, we go through a process, and I say we go through a process. We underwrite the cost of it, but it's an independent process, and the faculty picks the outstanding CE students, and then working with Janice Meyer, Elizabeth Greenwood, we got that on the program, and they're recognized at the ACE meeting, and we hope that it helps student attendance. I worked for Bob Thompson and Bob Gooch over the years. I worked many projects with Bob Gooch as I did with Bob Thompson. I was fortunate enough to get to know Mr. Freeze, Cy Freeze, and actually toward the latter part of his career, he would travel with me to project sites. He wasn't supposed to be driving cross country, and he wanted to go, so he'd go with me to project sites. And so I got to hear stories about how it was done in the 20s and 30s from him, which will always be memorable. I've also had the opportunity to travel quite a bit with Jim Nichols over the years, and know all of his stories as well. And then Bob Nichols, Bob Hergert, who was first president of Friesen Nichols, who was not an engineer. And
Wow.
And he came up through the city management ranks, and Bob always encouraged us to stay involved professionally. And in fact, he was president of Friesen Nichols when I was president of Texas Section, so he made that commitment, Friesen Nichols commitment, for me to be the president of Texas Section. And then most recently, Bob Pence is our current president, and he's always encouraged a lot of professional activities, not only by me, but by all Friesen Nichols. And I've tried to pass that on to our folks.
Do you feel that your involvement in ASC enhanced your career?
Yes. And don't ask me exactly to put my finger on something that I can say exactly what it was, but if nothing else, it was the fact that I knew people, I knew who to call when I needed some help, when I needed advice. I got to know the people, and I ended up with many informal mentors as well through ASCE. Of course, you can't do anything without family support. I mean, you can't. An erratic family life made for a very difficult professional life, so I had a very stable family life from my parents to my wife and my kids. As far as my kids, I have one daughter that's a civil engineer. She's a structural engineer. She graduated with Colorado School of Mines and Oklahoma State University, and she is raising a 2-year-old little boy right now.
So your grandfather, okay.
And
Congratulations.
then, thank you. And then my oldest son is a software engineer. He's in a business that's very similar to Friesen Nichols, except they do software consulting. And outside that, it's very similar business-wise. We do a lot of talking about the business side of it. I can't understand what he does, and he doesn't understand what I do, but the business side of it we both understand. And then my youngest son is works for Cartoon Network in California. Actually, it's Time Warner, I think, but he works with Cartoon Network in California. So, I enjoyed the year a great deal as president, but in the years as president-elect, I enjoyed both those years a whole lot. But it's you can only do it for so long, and then it's time for somebody else to have their turn at it, and that's
Sure.
the beauty of the organization. And I think that's it adds to the vitality of the organization.
Is there anything that you might want to share with other civil engineers, given your background?
Enjoy life
Enjoy life.
and serve your country, serve your profession, and of course, serve your Lord.